Hello students, so in this lecture we are going to discuss about Anthelmintics. In this lecture we will discuss first about the Helminths infection, yes, then we will study about the diseases which are caused by Helminths. Then we will see what is the therapy which is used for treating the Helminths. Now start with the Helminths. They are the parasitic forms, okay. They need a host, and in the host they are taking the nutrient, yes, due to taking the nourishment and the protection, the host lost the poor nutrient absorption capacity, and there will be weakness in the host, yes, and it is causing the disease in the host. Sometimes it reaches from the intestinal area to the other areas as well, and this will be very severe. It is causing morbidity and mortality in many numbers, yes. These worms and larvae, they are generally living in the small bowel area from where they are taking the nutrients, yes, and they are living there. It is referred to as intestinal parasites. There is one classification of this Helminths. So, this is one classification here: nematodes, trematodes and cystodes, yes. Nematodes means round worms. So, depending on their shapes we have classified them. So, nematodes or round worms, and then we have trematodes which is known as flukes, okay, or flatworms. So, under flukes like liver fluke, depending on the site where they are targeting. So, one is a liver fluke, then there is a blood fluke, yes. Similarly, there are some other flukes as well, okay, depending on the site where they are targeting. Then cystodes means tapeworm. So, their shape is we will see in further. So, how they are appearing as, okay. Now, see, infected people who are infected with the helminths or worms, they are excreting the helminth eggs, yes, and this is responsible for the transmission of this infection. From where helminth's egg in their fecus, which then contaminate the soil, okay, in the areas with inadequate sanitation, yes. So, people who are in the rural areas, okay, or in a less underprivileged areas, disadvantaged areas where the people are not aware about this infection, or they are not aware about the helminth infection, what are the symptoms of it, how to treat it, okay. So, these peoples are more prone for the infection. Now, other people can then be infected by ingesting eggs or larvae in contaminated food. The one contamination I told you is from the soil, yes, and the second, it could be from the food or through the penetration of the skin, yes, by infective larvae in the soil. Now, see, this infestation or the infection can cause morbidity, means the illness, and sometimes it is causing the death, yes. So, it is increasing the burden of a particular country, okay, by comprising nutritional status, yes. So, people who are suffering with this, or particular area who is suffering with this, of course, their nutritional status can very easily define the infection. Affecting cognitive process, if the infection reaches from intestinal area to the other area, so of course, ultimate it can cause the impairment of the cognitive function as well, yes. Then it can also induce some tissue reactions, it can also form granuloma, yes, it can cause hepatic abscess or provoking intestinal obstruction, yes, or rectal prolapse. So, these are many of the conditions which appear, many of the symptoms which appear with this Helminths infection. Now, how to control it? So, the best measure here is the, yes, we have the drug treatment, of course, for the cure will treated by the drug treatment, but before this, as a prevention I am telling you, what we can do is the improved sanitation and health education to aware the people, yes, this is the infection which is caused by the soil. So, improve the sanitation, yes. And if any person is feeling the symptoms or suffering with these type of symptoms, okay, GIT symptoms, these type of means their nutritional status is not good, they are found, they found their cognitive process is not proper, so they can check for it, yes. Now see various helminths causing human infestation. So under the nematodes, what we have? See, roundworm, hookworm, pinworm, okay, depending on their shapes, threadworm, filarial worm, whipworm, trachea worm, yes, trachea worm, guinea worm, and the biological names are written here, okay. So roundworm commonly we have seen, means it is caused by Ascarius lumbricoides, yes, hookworm, Nicator americanus and Encyclostoma duodenale. This is basically affecting the intestine area. Okay, these worms basically affect the intestinal area first, then they start to move to the other parts. Then pinworm, it is affecting the Introbios vermicularis, yes, this is one biological agent. Then threadworm, Strongyloides stercularis, filarial worm, yes, which is causing filariasis. So Wicheria bancrofti and Brugia malai, Onchocerca volvulus, yes. Then whipworm, Trichuris trichuria, Trichinella worm, Trichinella spirinalis, guinea worm, Dracunculus medinensis, which is called as Dracunculiasis, yes. Now see trematodes. So trematodes, the shape we can see it is fluke like, yes. So they are blood fluke, they are lung fluke, liver fluke. Similarly, we have other flukes as well as intestinal fluke, yes. So blood fluke, which is caused by the the biological source here are Schistosoma hematobium, yes, Mansoni one species and Japanicum. Then lung fluke, which is affecting the lung area basically, yes, causing pneumonia and the choking of the bronchi, yes. So what is the agent here? Biological name is Paragonimus westermanni, yes. Then liver fluke, the biological name here is a Fasciola hepatica, yes. So by this hepatica we can also find here, yes, this is affecting the liver area, yes, hepatic. Similarly, we have intestinal fluke, which is affecting the intestine area, yes. Then cestodes, yes. So here we can see their structure is very similar as of tape, yes. So they are known as tapeworm. Now from the source we are getting the infection, they are named in this manner, yes. So pork tapeworm, yes. So this tapeworm, a human will get, the chances of getting this tapeworm is when human is taking flesh of pig, yes. So the agent, the biological name here is a Taenia solium, yes. Then beef tapeworm, if humans are taking flesh of cattle, okay. So in cattle this type of worm is present, tapeworm, Taenia saginata, okay. And if humans are taking flesh of cattle, at the time humans are more prone for this type of infection. Then fish tapeworm, if we are taking the flesh of fish. Then dog tapeworm, okay. This is, the biological name here is a Echinococcus granulosus, okay. Then dove tapeworm, this is the shape of the tapeworm, means they are small in size, that is why we are giving the name as dove tapeworm. So it is, the biological name here is Hymenolapis nana, yes. And their diseases are very similar with the name of the biological agent, Yes. Now see the diseases which are caused by these worms. So first disease here is the hookworm disease. Yes, hookworm disease is a very common infestation, very common infection in the developing world, which is caused by the Encyclostoma duodenale. It is affecting the intestine area, or Necator americanus. When they are affecting the intestine area, they will take the nourishment from that area, okay, which will lead to the weakness in the host, which will lead to the poor nourishment in the host, okay, and then there are chances of the anemia, okay. So this condition lead to the anemia and malnutrition. Then there is one condition, dracunculiasis. I told in very initial of this slide, okay, guinea worm, where the guinea worm is responsible. So it is causing dracunculiasis, this condition, which is caused by guinea worm or Dracunculus medinensis. Yes, and this is transported by the water, okay, the contaminated water where the worms of this is present, these Dracunculus medinensis or guinea worms are present in the water, and persons are taking, the people who are living in a particular area, they are taking that contaminated water, okay. So it is transmitted by contaminated water, and it lies burrowed within the skin, yes, and causes inflammation in that particular area, okay. The another disease is loa, yes. So loasis or African eye worm disease, yes, this is caused by the Filaria loa worm. These are the vectors, okay, deer fly or mango fly bites. By their bites, these flies act as vector, and when they are biting the humans, of course they will transfer these Filaria loa worms, yes. Now the adult worms move through the subcutaneous tissue area to the eye. That's why it is known as African eye worm disease. They are affecting the eye area, okay. So now you are getting how these helminths can affect the other parts of the body, okay. Majorly they are affecting the intestinal area, and also we have specific areas as well for the helminths, like this worm is affecting the eye, yes. And if we are talking for the intestinal worms as well, intestinal worms can also cause the infection to the other organs, okay. They can affect the liver, they can affect the brain as well. Now see, so here they are affecting the eye, from the skin area they will reach to the eye. Now the illness cause red itchy swellings in the skin, referred to as a Calabar swellings, okay. Now cysticercosis. Cysticercosis is one condition which is caused by the pork tapeworm, okay. So pork tapeworm means if anyone is taking the flesh of the pig, and from that flesh the worm the humans are getting. So here the agent, biological agent is Taenia solium, okay. What are the symptoms? So symptoms will the often do not present for years, okay. So this disease is taking lot of time to show the symptoms, but eventually painful bumps develop in the skin area or the muscle area, and they can cause the impairment in the cognitive process, okay, like confusion, to meditate, to give attention on anything is very difficult, okay. So these are all under the neurological problems, okay. Now echinococcosis, which is caused by the Echinococcus tapeworms. The liver is usually affected first, yes, and then the lungs are affected, the brain are affected. So what I told you initially, the same is written here, yes. Liver disease may cause abdominal pain, there will be jaundice if liver is affected, yes. Then lung is affected, it will cause trouble in breathing, there will be breathlessness, there will be coughing, choking in that area, yes, and it may reach to the brain. Now see what are the drugs. Okay, so before this we have discussed what could be the diseases. They are very severe infections, yes, and they can reach to the any part of the body, yes. Now we will see what are the drugs which we can use for the treatment of these worms. Okay. So first, drug inhibiting polymerization of beta tubulin. Okay. So if the beta tubulin polymerization is inhibited, of course what happened, because these are required for the cell division. Okay. So the drugs such as albendazole, mebendazole, thiabendazole, triclabendazole, these drugs are inhibiting the polymerization of beta tubulin, which is very essential for the cell division. So if they will inhibit, what would happen? Of course the cell division will not occur. Okay. So cell growth, the growth of the worm will be stopped there. Now second category, if you see, drugs causing spastic paralysis. Okay. So paralysis, if we are talking about the paralysis, okay. So paralysis can be by two methods. One is the condition which is appeared after the paralysis. It could be of two types. One is the spastic paralysis, another is the flaccid. Okay, there is two mechanisms you will see. In spastic paralysis, what is happening here? We are causing the rigidity, yes, of the muscles. So rigidity of the muscles means the spastic paralysis. Now spastic paralysis is mediated by NN receptor agonist. Okay, nicotinic receptor. Nicotinic receptor agonist, these drugs like pyrantel, pamiote and levimazole, they are causing the activation of NN receptor, yes, and the activation of nicotinic receptors, what they will cause? They will cause the severe contractions in the muscles. Yes, if there will be the rapid contractions of the muscles, what would happen? Ultimately it will lead to the paralysis, which is called as a spastic paralysis. Okay, so helminths which are attached with the intestinal wall, they will start to lose the grip. Yes, so this is we are attaining here by this spastic paralysis. The second mechanism is a drug causing flaccid paralysis. Flaccid paralysis means there will be weakness in the muscles. Okay, so means the muscles will lose their tonicity. Yes, so here GABA agonist drugs such as piperazine and ivermectin, these drugs are acting as GABA agonist and they are causing the flaccid paralysis. Yes, after that, drugs altering microfilarial membrane and increasing phagocytosis. Okay, there is another one mechanism by which these drugs like diethylcarbamazine is effective in treating the infection. So diethylcarbamazine, what it is causing? It is altering the microfilarial membrane, and this membrane, when there is a disruption of this membrane, there will be the process of phagocytosis will increase. Okay, and ultimately it will lead to the whatever the content present in the cell in this microfilaria, it will come out. Okay, and it will die. Now see another drug causing uncoupling of oxidative phosphorylation. Now these worms, yes, microfilaria, their larvae, they all require the energy, yes, for their survival. So the drugs like bithionol and niclosamide, these drugs are causing uncoupling of oxidative phosphorylation, which ultimately lead to inhibition of ATP formation, yes, which is a energy, means energy is required. So if the ATP is not formed, of course the these filarias or these larvae, they will not get the energy. Of course after some time they will die. Sixth mechanism, drug causing influx of calcium. Okay, there also we can see contractions are occurring. Yes. So, if there will be the influx of calcium, there will be a paralysis, and praziquantel is working in this manner. Yes. So, in all of these three mechanisms we are seeing, majority are working on the paralysis. Okay, they are causing the paralysis of the cell, so that the worms will lost the grip to the muscle or intestinal wall. Yes, and then they will come out by the natural process, or by the fecus they will come out. Now see the first class, the first mechanism, the first category we have discussed, which are working on the beta tubulin. So, here drugs targeting targeting tubulin. There are many drugs, but what is our concern is the mebendazole and albendazole. Yes. So, see, they are blocking polymerization of tubulin in intestinal cells, and then blocking of glucose and glucose uptake. Yes. What happen ultimately? There will be gradual immobilization will start, and ultimately cell will die, or helminths will die. Yes. So, this is the basic mechanism of albendazole, mebendazole, like these drugs. Then second class. Yes, in second class we have discussed about the levamisole. Yes, this is causing the spastic paralysis. Yes. So, levamisole is effective in lumbricoids. It has a nicotine like action, stimulating and blocking the neuromuscular junction. How it is showing their effect? See, the primary action, they are acting on nicotinic receptors, yes, neuromuscular junction, and they will cause the increase of these, they are acting on the acetylcholine receptor ion channels. They will open these channels, and after the opening of these channels, influx of calcium will occur. When there will be influx, there will be depolarization of nematode channels will occur. Yes, which is ultimately leading to the contractions of the cells. Okay, there will be rapid contraction of the cells by opening of this channel, acetylcholine receptor channel. Yes. So, spastic muscle contraction lead to inability to remain in its habitual location. So, what will happen? Nematode is expelled out, the gripping ability will be lost. The same is written here. What I told you, they are working on the neuromuscular junction, they are blocking, these drugs are blocking this junction, and consequently it is causing the paralysis of parasites. What happened next? They are expelled from the body through the fecus. Yes, there are some side effects like nausea will be there, abdominal pain, there will be dizziness, fatigue, drowsiness, okay, insomnia. Now, ivermectin. So, it is from the third class. Ivermectin is causing the flaccid paralysis. So, it is working on the GABA channels as well as it is working on the glutamate gated channels. Yes. So, ivermectin, it binds selectively with a high affinity to the glutamate chloride channels, which turns to increase in the permeability of the cell membrane to the chloride channel. When the chlorides will come out inside the cell, what will happen? There will be hyperpolarization of cell and it leads to the paralysis. Yes, there will be cell death, there will be parasite will die. The another mechanism which we have discussed in the classification part is they are acting as agonist of the GABA channel. So, they are agonist of neurotransmitter GABA aminobutyric acid. Okay. So, what they will cause? They will cause a disrupting GABA mediated CNS neurosynaptic transmission, and then they will cause the paralysis. Yes, flaccid paralysis. The muscle will weak and ultimately lead to the cell death. Now, see, there are some points like albendazole, mebendazole and parental pomade. These drugs are a wide anti-helminthic spectrum. Okay, albendazole is a drug of a choice for the treatment of nematode infections, such as if there is an infection of cutaneous layer, cutaneous larva migrans is one infection. There is a one infection visceral larva migrans, okay, which is reaching to the inner organs. So, it is caused by the, means the condition is the toxocariasis, and there is one condition where the these neurons are affected, okay, the brain area is affected. So, neurocysticirrhosis, okay, but it is not affected against the enterobiosis. This is affecting the intestinal area. So, apart from this infection, the mebendazole can be given for these upper infection which I told you. Now, Wicheria bancrofti or Brugia malayi, these are infection which is causing the filariasis. So, DEC, diethylcarbamazine, this is popularly given. Onchocerca, this is called as a river blindness, and strongyloids, okay. Stercularis, these infections can be treated by ivermectin, and dracunculus infection can be treated by metronidazole, okay. So, these are the specific infection for which the specific drug can be used. Okay, thank you so much everyone. I hope this is clear to all of you about the Helminths infection and what are the drugs which are used for the treatment of this infection.